Okay, here's part 2 of lesson 4, so chapter 10, lesson 4. So part 2, we're going to go ahead and do some practice problems. We're going to jump to the independent practice page on 777. So take that open and we're going to go ahead and get started right away. So we are finding the surface area of the rectangular prism. Or, I'm sorry, not rectangular prism, triangular prism. So notice here that I'm going to have two triangles, okay, and I have three rectangles. So I'm going to go ahead and start with maybe drawing this long one, which means that one is going to be a 37, and I'm just going to write it over here, 37 times, and we need to know this right here, which notice that is 5, so 37 times 5, and when we take 37 times 5, that's 185, okay? And then let's do this rectangle right here. Notice that that is a 20 times 5, and 20 times 5 is 100. And then notice the bottom rectangle right here is a 51. It's a real long one. It is a 51 times 5, which equals 255. Okay, now we're going to try to take a look at the triangles. Again, they're going to be the same triangle, so I might just do one of it and multiply it by 2 to make my life easier. So here's my triangle. And again, remember, I'm going to kind of make it look kind of like that. Here's my base, which is 51. Notice my height is labeled right here with this 12. So my height is 12. So I'm going to take 12 times 15 and divide it by 2, which is going to give me 306 for 1. Now I know that I have 2 of them, so I'm going to go ahead and write 306 again. So on our calculators, we're going to add 185 plus 100 plus 255 plus 306 plus 306, which is going to give me a grand total of 1,152 yards squared. Okay? All right, let's take a look at this next one. Notice they are not equilateral, bummer, because I have 1, 1, and 1.2. So I have 2 of my triangles. My base is 1.2. Notice my height is 0.8. So that means I'm going to take 0.8 times 1.2 and divide it by 2, which is going to give me 0.48. Notice I have 2 of them, so that's still going to give me 0.48 because it's the exact same on the opposite side. So let's take a look at this rectangle right here. Looks like I have this rectangle of a 1.2 right here times what's the diagonal? Times 1. 1.2 times 1 is 1.2. Now let's take a look at this side right here. That is 1.2 times 1. So we're going to have another one of these. 1.2 times 1, which is 1.2. Then we're going to take a look at the bottom, which is going to be a little bit different because it's 1.2. Oops. Let me zoom back in here. There we go. Okay, so 1.2. It's going to do it again for me. Okay. Not liking me today. Okay, so we have 1.2 on this side, 1.2 on this side, and 1.2 on that side. So I'm just going to keep it like this. I'm going to go 1.2 times 1.2, which is 1.44. Now to find the total surface area, I must add all of those together, which means I'm going to add this, plus this, plus this, plus this, plus this. And when I do that, I get 4.8 centimeters squared. Okay, let's take a look at this next one over here. Okay, we're going to take a look at this triangle right here. Looks kind of like this, and we have 2.4, and it looks like my height is 1, and I have 2 of those, so I'm just going to go ahead and go 2.4 times 1, and then divide it by 2, which is going to give me 1.2, and I know that I have another one of those, so I'm going to go ahead and put another 1.2 down here, okay, because I have 2 of them, because it's the exact same, because it's a prism. Let's take a look at this one right here, this rectangle. It kind of looks like a little square. 2.4, notice right here, and then this side is 2. So I'm going to take 2.4 times 2, and I get 4.8. Then I'm going to erase, and I'm going to take a look at this side, and it looks like on this side I have 1.75 times 2, which is right over here, so 1.75 times 2, which is 3.4. Then right here I have 1.5 times 2, which is 3, and I'm going to add all of these up, which is going to give me a grand total of, oops, not 21, sorry, 13.6 meters squared. Okay, so that is some more practice problems. Again, writing out drawing the pictures of the triangles, drawing the pictures of the rectangles is a really good thing to do, but you can also just write it down. Like where I just wrote down the numbers that I was multiplying. If you don't like drawing the pictures in the rectangles, at least you can see that you need to make sure that you get all 5 sides. Okay, so there's going to be 5 sides. Again, with the triangle, you could just multiply it by 2, or you could just show both of them, whatever works for you. So that is surface of an area of a triangular prism. All right, and we will be doing some more practice problems in class, and we'll be working through some homework. So good job, mathematicians.